Celeste Monroe, mop in hand, eyes down. "You with the mop? Want to try a real fight?" I swear I felt my jaw tighten. And I wasn't even the one holding the mop. A voice from the center mat, sharp, loud enough to shake the walls. She looked up, not at the woman yelling, but at the wall behind her. Red cap, white jai, finger pointed like a loaded gun. Nobody laughed, nobody stopped it. Celeste didn't flinch, didn't speak. Half her face caught the light. The other stayed in shadow, and still, somehow, it felt like the whole room had shifted, just one breath off beat. Something's coming. Celeste Monroe, they called her the new janitor. They weren't wrong, but they weren't close. She showed up on time, always alone, blue gloves folded, tucked neatly into her side pocket, head down, steps quiet, movements exact. She never spoke to the students, not once. But that day class ran late, and so she walked in early. The mat hadn't been cleaned yet. The blue cloth was still in her left hand, same fold. It never left her fingers. Most people assumed she didn't know the rules here. They were wrong. She knew every line of tape on the tatami, knew the faint tear in the upper corner came from a fall 6 months ago, knew the right rear panel always lifted half an inch in dry weather. She knew who trained hard, who grunted just for show, who flinched every time Linda yelled too loud. She knew because she used to be in the center. Now, she stood by the trash bin. No one asked why she stopped fighting. No one even knew she ever had. But her left shoe sat a little off angle, like something in her foot never healed right, like her balance had learned to adjust without complaining. You wouldn't notice it unless you fought for years, unless you knew what real wear looked like. She never talked about Vegas, or the friend who never woke up. She had walked out after that match, not because she lost, but because winning had cost too much. Now, she cleaned, silently, precisely, and everyone saw her. But nobody looked. That was their mistake. A voice cut through the air, sharp, dry, too loud for a room this quiet. "You with the mop? Want to try a real fight?" Heads turned, not fast, but enough. She stood in the center of the mat, white GI, black belt, red cap pulled low, face flushed, voice steady. A performance made for an audience. No one said her name, no one had to. Here, that red hat was louder than a megaphone, and when she spoke, people shut up. Celeste didn't answer, didn't blink, didn't move. The cloth was still in her hand, same fold, same grip. The woman stepped forward, just one step, but everything about it said, power, finger out. Spine pitched slightly forward, that false casual lean of someone used to being obeyed. "Or you only clean up after real fighters?" The silence got heavier, not tense, weighted, like the walls were holding their breath. One student shifted. Young guy, mid-row, dropped his arms from a folded stance. No words, just listening now. The others, still statues. Nobody laughed, nobody stopped it, nobody left. It wasn't illegal, not a rule broken, not on paper, but it was a shot fired, and everyone knew it, a call out, public, calculated, not meant to challenge, meant to reduce. Celeste stayed where she was, head still tilted, body still square, weight balanced perfectly, too perfect. She looked like someone measuring time, not rage, not shame, just time. And the woman in white, she thought she had scored the first point. She thought the room was hers. It wasn't, not anymore. Maybe you've seen something like this, where silence gets mistaken for weakness, where someone just lets it slide until they don't. I've been there too, watching, waiting, wondering if it was worth it. If this part made you feel something, drop a comment, or stay. There's more to unfold. Celeste didn't reply, didn't break eye contact either. She just stepped back half a foot, turned, slowly, clean. No sound, no flinch, no exit. Her right hand still held the cloth. Her left, lowered gently onto the back corner of the mat, near the rear door, far from the center of attention. Dust had settled there, thick, undisturbed, the kind you only notice when it shifts. She wiped once, then again, then a third time. Each stroke deliberate, software unbothered. but only the cameras caught what mattered. Behind her, just in frame, hung the gym's safety guidelines. Rule number 4. All instructors must uphold safety standards. A rule nobody paid much attention to, until someone did. Directly beneath the mat where she stood was a patch, barely visible, where PVC tubing had been left exposed during last month's maintenance. A hazard, reported, apologized for, then forgotten. The head coach had issued an email, said it would be repaired, said it wouldn't happen again. But here it was, still there, still exposed. And Celeste? She was standing right on top of it, wiping, software measured. No one said a word, not the woman in the red hat, not the students, not even the assistant coach standing in the back. But one student noticed, the same one who had dropped his arms earlier. He glanced down, eyes narrowing, then shifted his stance. Not much, just enough, like he'd remembered something. Celeste didn't move again, didn't look up. She just kept wiping that same strip of mat, and behind her, the camera blinked its red light, recording everything, framing everything, including the rule. She didn't plant evidence, didn't say a word. She just stood in the one place no one was supposed to forget, but everyone did, until now. 2 days later, Celeste was wiping shelves in the storage closet. Same gloves, same quiet. A student stepped in, young, nervous, didn't make eye contact, didn't lower her voice either. "Miss Monroe, is that safety rule board real? I mean, I've never actually read it." Celeste nodded, just once, no answer needed. That evening, class started as usual. Linda barked commands, shoes lined up sharp, mats spotless. But something had changed. More students arrived early, not to stretch, to look. At the board, at the mats, at Celeste. Midway through class, a hand went up. Male voice, steady, polite. "Sensei, just curious. If someone drops a clipboard near a hazard, on camera, would that count as a safety violation?" Linda froze, just a second. Then the eyes turned, not mocking, not smiling, just waiting. She cleared her throat. "Too fast. Number, not unless they're staff. Rules apply to instructors." Celeste blinked. That was all. No one said anything. But the room felt colder. That night, the nameplate, Linda Hargrave, chief instructor, was missing from the wall. Not shattered, removed. Someone had peeled it off, left a strip of old tape behind, and a single strip of masking tape held it, quietly, on the bathroom mirror. One girl saw it first. She whispered to her friend. "She said she's not officially registered as an instructor, right? So, why would she need a nameplate?" Nobody laughed, but the silence had a pulse now. The shift had begun. Thursday evening, the mats were swept, the lights already on. Everyone was present. Linda stepped forward, clipboard in hand. Her voice rang out. "Starting next week, no one without teaching certification or internal rank is allowed in the dojo after 6 p.m. She didn't say a name, but her eyes said everything. Celeste didn't blink, just nodded once, then walked to the center mat. No words, no fanfare. She placed a brown envelope on the wooden table, didn't seal it, didn't sign it. Inside, a faded certificate, issued 2011, renewed 2023. Federation seal, regional director's signature. Underneath, Celeste Monroe, certified master instructor, MMA, controlled discipline. Linda scoffed. "That proves nothing? You're not part of our registered staff." Celeste didn't answer, just tilted her head slightly. Then from the left, the student who had questioned the safety rules spoke up. "Sensei, have you ever filed your official instructor registration?" Linda froze. "Of course I have." Another student stood, phone in hand, calm voice. "I just checked the Federation's online registry. Only one certified instructor at this location is listed." A pause. "It's Celeste Monroe." The room tightened, not loud, just still. Linda's jaw clenched, her eyes darted. "I submitted my paperwork last year. They must have..." Celeste's voice cut in. First time in a month, quiet, precise. "Submitting doesn't mean you're certified." That was it. The line landed cold, like steel on ice. No one moved. Linda reached under the desk, pulled out her nameplate, chief instructor. and slammed it onto the mat. No one picked it up. No one even looked at it. She stepped back, walked out of the ring. Alone, no one followed, no belts moved, not a word. She wasn't removed. She just didn't belong anymore. 1 week later, Monday morning, no red cap, no orders barked across the mat. Just Celeste, mop in hand, keys on her belt, same time, same silence. The dojo was still, like it had been scrubbed of noise. Only the windows whispered, light crawling down the far wall. She unlocked the side door, entered, turned on the lights. One by one, not rushed. Her steps didn't echo. They landed soft, familiar, like someone returning to a space they never truly left. She placed the mop against the back wall, took out a folded towel, clean, pressed, and laid it down on the corner mat. Same place she always started. But today, she didn't kneel. Instead, she stood, still, facing the center. The exact spot Linda used to stand. Nothing grand happened. There was no announcement, no clap, no welcome back. Just small things, subtle things. Like the line of shoes outside, arranged neater than usual. Like the way two students bowed before walking in, shoulders a little more squared. Like the paper taped under the rules board, handwritten, black ink. One line, respect is earned where words end. No name, but the handwriting belonged to Sarah. Second-year student, used to laugh when Linda shouted. Now she opened the dojo every morning. Linda? No one asked, no one deleted her name from the group chat. It just stopped appearing in the weekly emails. No more reminder from your chief instructor. No more clipboard left on the bench. Just absence. Which, in a place like this, was louder than presence. That Thursday, something shifted. A message was posted on the back wall. New elective, control strategy, movement without conflict. Voluntary, no rank required. Celeste didn't promote it, didn't mention it. But when she stepped in to lead the trial class, every slot was full. No warm-up, no drills, just her voice. Low, calm, clear. She walked the mat, described positions, transitions. How to listen to someone's weight without hearing a word. How to respond by not moving first. She didn't speak much, but no one looked away. After class, one of the younger men approached her. Not cocky, not loud. He stood still for a second, then spoke. Thanks for not staying silent forever. Not a compliment, not applause. More like a hand extended across a quiet battlefield. She nodded once, then picked up the towel from the mat, folded it carefully, walked to the far corner, set it down. Not because the mat was dirty, but because something had ended, and that was her way of closing it. She walked out the door, no music, no final line, no need. Because this time, when she left, no one looked at her like the janitor, and she never looked back. The towel stayed where she left it, folded, neat, like it always had purpose, even when dismissed. Nobody touched it, not right away. Just like some truths, they take time to settle, to be seen for what they really are. In the back room, the old corkboard still held a pinhole, the one where her nameplate never was. A quiet space, meant for someone who never asked to be seen. Celeste showed up the next week, not to clean, not to teach, just to return a key she never asked for. She placed it on the counter, tied to a blue string, the same color as her cloth. The girl at the front desk didn't say anything, just looked, then slowly nodded, like she finally understood what it meant to carry weight without noise. Outside, wind moved through the trees, the kind of breeze that doesn't shift things, just reminds them they're alive. In the corner of the room, someone had framed a new quote. Strength is not in the strike, but in knowing when not to. No signature, just black ink on white paper. No need for applause, no need to stay. The justice had already settled, not through punishment, but through the return of order. One quiet piece at a time. And as Celeste stepped out, nothing loud followed. Just a silence that felt complete, like a door closing exactly when it was supposed to. There are truths that don't need to be spoken. They just wait until the room is quiet enough to hear them.